Welcome back to Phasmophobia. If you guys could like, comment, and or subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Anything that you could do for the channel will help me put more back into the channel for you. All of that being said, today we're going to take a stroll through one of the maps on Nightmare difficulty. I've been going through and upgrading everything as I can. I talked about this a few times, but you could go ahead, set your difficulty, hit apply, and then if you come back up here, or you could probably more logical way to do this is to come over here to your custom. I don't know at what point you unlock this, but it's definitely before you prestige for the first time. You can come down to this icon here, that is your edit icon. You can come up here to presets and you can click on Nightmare and look at how everything works for the Nightmare difficulty. So it doesn't just say low sanity or anything like that, or normal sanity. Actually, I don't think it says anything regarding that. This way you can tell that you start off with 100% sanity. Your sanity pill restoration is 25% per pill, so you take 4 in, so if you use them all, you can go from 0 to 100 if you need to. Sanity drain speed is maxed out at 200%. Sprinting is of course enabled. Anything here that is gray is, I think it's default all the way back to amateur, so that's one way to look at that. You pop over here to ghost, see that the speed is normal. Roaming frequency is maxed out to high. Changing favorite room, however, is set to medium. Activity level low. Event frequency is actually set to high. Never really noticed that. That actually decreases your rewards. Friendly ghost is set to off. Grace period gets 2 seconds. Hunt duration is actually maxed out to high. Kills extend hunts is set to low, but we're doing single player, so that won't really matter for us. Evidence given is set to 2. Fingerprint chance is 100%, and they last for 2 minutes. Evidence given, if you're on Nightmare or Insanity, or no evidence, no sanity, there are things to note. You only get 2 evidence. I've played several lobbies with several people who have been very new to the game and swore up and down that even though we already had 2 evidence, because we'll say, let's pop out of here. What's a good example? You, and you. Yeah, actually, I think that was this exact case. So we had Spirit Box and Freezing. The ghost kicked the writing book, so they said that it could not be a Metroid because it kicked a writing book. But you only get 2 evidence. The ghost will intentionally hide one of its evidence. So even though it kicks the writing book, you cannot cross out any of the evidence. What you can do is, let's say you get Spirit Box, but you check around in a room that you are almost 100% certain is the ghost room, and you don't see ghost orbs, and you checked everything every time it's touched, and you know, oh no, ultraviolet's a bad one. We'll say it's kicked the writing book. There we go. And so if it's kicked the writing book, you're not going to get ghost writing, and if you're positive, I mean, you got to really check for these ghost orbs sometimes. But if you check around, you're certain there's no ghost orbs, but you do have Spirit Box. The ghost can't hide both of these evidences. So we will know for a fact that it can't be a mirror. Now you could still get one of these, but it can't hide both of these, if that makes sense. Like if you get ghost orbs later on, you got to make sure to come back and unhide mirror. But hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of a logical thing. Unfortunately, I haven't learned of one yet for Insanity difficulty. I'm not sure that there is one. And then Sanity, however, you do have another thing, which I'll talk about that later if we ever do an Insanity event, which we probably will. Moving on over to contract, setup time is actually minimized down to 0. You get 0 setup time as soon as you open the door. If the ghost is allowed to hunt, it will hunt. Weather is set to random, which has been awesome. I think I've had 2 Blood Moon events, maybe 3 Blood Moon events so far since the, or Blood Moon weather events since the Blood Moon event on, for Halloween. Door starting open is actually maxed out to high, which means that you can't just go inside of the map, say this door is already cracked open, this must be the ghost room. Number of hiding places is set to low, but it's not entirely minimized. Sanity monitor is of course broken along with the activity monitor. Fuse box at the start of contract is turned off, and it is not visible on the map. And you do get 1 cursed possession, and it is randomized. So if you wanted to, I mean, the intention behind Nightmare is you only get 2 evidence. So you could come in here and you could tweak a lot of this. Like on Insanity, you actually start at 75% sanity. But you see that only changed our rewards amount by 0.03, which is not very much. So that's not really worthwhile to change. Now, I think it does go... Nope, it doesn't go exponentially. It's 0.03 every time, so I don't really recommend that. Sprinting is a big one. That's 1.25 if you wanted to turn off sprinting. Player speed is 0.2 and 0.3, but you can only go down to half. Flashlights is worth only 0.1, so I don't recommend turning off flashlights. It's not really worth it. Lose items and consumables. Turning that off actually eliminates all rewards, along with friendly ghost, which we'll see here in a moment. Yeah, friendly ghost right here. If you turn that on, you lose all rewards. Basically, if there's no risk, there is no reward. Ghost speed, what does that do? Ooh, 0.25. That's pretty decent. And then if you get the Blood Moon event weather, I think it bumps it up to like 175, I believe. Changing favorite room seems to affect it by 1/10. So, yeah, it could be useful to turn up. Not entirely sure. You go and, especially when the ghost is hiding evidence, it seems all that much more difficult to get the evidence. Activity is already minimized. Event frequency, we could actually turn that down quite a bit. Oh, we can only turn it down to low, and it gets us 0.2 if we do. Friendly ghost, yeah, we already talked about that. Grace period. This is a big one. You get a lot of rewards for eliminating this, but if you have a 0 grace period, as soon as the ghost wants to hunt, if the ghost model is on top of you, you are dead. No ifs, ands, or buts. But 1 second's pretty good, because as soon as the ghost starts hunting, you'll be able to hear pretty well if the ghost is directly on top of you. So I'm actually going to turn that down to 1 second. Hunt duration set to high. It could be worth it. 1/10 of rewards. Kills extend hunts. Doesn't actually affect it. It might affect it in multiplayer. I've never actually really looked at that. I always just left it low or off. Evidence given, and we're going to leave that at 2. Fingerprint chance percent. I think we want that at 100, but we could probably turn this down. Oh, it's 0.02. Okay, so that's not really worth it. But if you go up to 3 minutes, it really eliminates it. Damn. Yeah, they're really not playing around a lot in this, are they? Yeah, that one's not worth it. Contract. Now, one of the precursors to nightmares, you actually do get a cursed possession, which can be helpful, especially only having 2 of the evidence items. But we'll take a look at that here in a second. Setup time is already minimum. Weather is already set to random. Heavy rain. Oh, nope. Light rain is actually better than random. And heavy rain, I think, is the most rewards you get. Yeah. I think fog is the one that I go with most. Yeah, 4.47. Same as windy, same as snow. Snow is kind of a bad one because the whole house you have cold breath throughout, whereas any of the other ones you will actually, except for sunrise, because sunrise I don't believe the ghost ever lets the room get cold enough for cold breath unless it's freezing temps. But yeah, on snow you have cold breath all throughout the house. You will never really be able to find a ghost room unless you get the breaker turned on and it doesn't keep turning it off. It's just a constant fight. You could do it, it's just going to be a pain the whole time. If you're on an indoor map, heavy rain is probably the one to go with. So we'll actually set that to heavy rain now. I believe if you have this set to a weather, the blood moon chance does not apply, because I've never had it happen. So don't quote me on that, but that's just completely anecdotal. Because of that, I'm going to leave this on random, because, what is it? You get an extra 10% rewards on blood moon. So that's kind of worth it a lot. Door starting open, we'll leave that set to high because that's maxed out already. Number of hiding places, we can actually decrease that, and 0.3 rewards is pretty good, so we'll leave that set to none. I know of a lot of hiding places that are not glitches, but they're just places that the ghost doesn't often go to. The ghost can still go there, and I have died in all of these places, but it's just not likely to. Those 2 being broken is already good. Not visible on map. What does this one do? If you turn that on, it costs you 0.1, and it is so worth it just to have the fuse box on at the start of the contract. And then, the coup de grace. This will give you back 0.3. I think if we go back over here to the ghost, what did I want to do? Penetration already set to high and maxed out. Grace period 1 second. Don't want that. Event frequency is set to high. Yeah, we'll turn that down a bit. Basically, event frequency low. If we end up having the objective, get a event from a ghost or witness a ghost event. Jesus, I can't remember anything today. Then that'll kind of suck. But if we don't have that objective, then this doesn't really help us in any manner aside from getting ghost photos, which is another objective, of course, potential objective. Activity level is already set to low. Changing favorite room. We can dial this up to high. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Basically, we want this to be as difficult as possible without really getting away from the core of Nightmare, which is the 2 evidence only. Flashlights are, we'll leave those on. That way I can have them on and you guys can actually see. Player speed is normal. We'll leave sprinting turned on, and it gets you a lot of money, but if you turn it off, but it's not really worth the hassle. Sanity drain speed's already maxed out. Pill restoration. We can actually turn this down, although it doesn't do that much. I'm not going to use sanity pills, so. And then starting sanity. We could dial that back a little bit. Gets you a decent amount. Oh yeah, this doesn't do much unless you play with that. So once you turn down your sanity, the sanity pills start doing more. So what was this at? 25? Yeah. So another way to look at this is if you take all 4 sanity medications, you go back up to 100%. And if we're already starting at 100%, then we are at, additional reward multipliers will add 50% of their... Oh, I never realized that. Additional rewards will only be above 5 times, so above 5x will add 50% of their value. Okay. So another way to look at this, what I was saying earlier, is if you take your starting sanity and make it 0, and then at the start of the contract, you take all of your sanity medication to go back up to 100, you do not seem to get that much. But if your sanity pills don't do anything, then you get a lot more. And especially if you only turn this down a little bit, and then a lot more, and then a lot more. So we'll actually do this with only 75% sanity, because that's what you start off with in insanity. And we won't be using our sanity medication anyway, so 5.5 times is pretty good. That's how I'm going to set this up. I could go in here and remove sanity medication if I cared to, but I kind of don't. Tanglewood's pretty good. It's got a couple... Well, it's got like one decent hiding space when hiding spaces are turned off, and then one not so decent. I die in there often. And then we could, of course, just loop the ghost around the table almost the entire time. Never actually bothered to check that I was recording. So unfortunately, that took like 13 minutes to explain all of that. Sorry, not that fast of a talker, but hopefully I was pretty clear on some of that. Witness a ghost event. I'm going to go screw myself. Repel and sanity below 25. Sanity below 25 is going to be fairly easy considering we're only starting at 75. Repelling we're going to be doing no matter what, because that's what we're going to end up doing to try to find a ghost. And yeah, ghost events are going to be a bit more scarce, so sorry to myself in the future. We're going to start off with a incense because we're starting off with 75% sanity. I do not want to find out the hard way. The ghost is an early hunter, and if I take too long to find it, I don't want to end up dying because of it. We're going to grab a flashlight for you guys, and I'm going to grab an EMF as I feel that will be the most effective and quickest way to find the ghost. As soon as we pop inside this door, our sanity starts draining. So it's very important. We're actually just going to beeline straight to the breakers. I just heard it throw something. I think it's actually in the garage. Maybe it's in the dining room. It might be the dining room. Oh, I just heard it throw us or touch a door over here. This door right here. Alright, that's good there. We're gonna go get this breaker turned on. We need to preserve our sanity. If you get good enough at doing this, then you can start doing this with 50% sanity. I am an idiot. I started with the breaker turned on for a reason, and I completely neglected it. I'm not sure what room the ghost is in quite yet, but we will pop in here and check our breath. It's not cold yet. That's something. Want to get these lights on so I do not drain my sanity. I think I've said that plenty of times now. Yeah, normally, if you don't want to start with the breaker on, then by all means, just don't. But if you do, then just get the lights on as soon as possible and rock and roll from there. We're going to grab this guy now and a glow stick. Probably should grab a thermal. We'll be able to see the thermals going down before we start getting cold breath. But I'll try to keep an eye on my breath as I enter the hallway. And now as I enter the living room. And now as I enter this room. Nada. No ghost orbs? No ghost orbs. Could still be in there, but I'm not spotting ghost orbs. Also no ghost orbs. Could also just be a teleporting ghost, because I could have swore I heard something over there. Alright, I forgot I could probably just toss this guy in here. We do have that 2 minutes, but I think that's more than past. So I don't really know what the sanity's at. Should probably try to come in here one of these days with the activity monitor on and time to see how quickly the sanity drains, but that'll be future testings in the making. Let's go find us a ghost room. Thermal's gonna be the best case, or the best way to do this every time. 13, 20. Ooh, damn. So the hallway's probably an adjacent room. Yeah. So I guess it's nursery. Or it is the hallway and it's still just going down. Ooh. 20 in here. Yeah, it's the hallway. Okay. So let's come in here. Let's get this light off and check around for ghost orbs. Well, that was easy. Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? I wish I had a photo cam. I don't want that to touch me because that will drain my sanity. Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Alright, we might check that again in the future. So we do know we have ghost orbs. No matter what, we do have ghost orbs. We're not getting spirit box, and we are on nightmare, so we're only getting 2 of our evidence. Well, kind of nightmare. Modified nightmare, that's what we'll call it. So we're only going to get 2 evidences. So we're not getting spirit box. It could be a mimic still. We need to check for freezing and ultraviolet religiously and see what ends up happening. We did get our ghost event, so we didn't have to really fight for that. That is very nice. We'll get these last couple of evidence items in here and get them set up. Nope, still got the breaker turned on. This may no longer be the ghost room. You never know with these ghosts. Motion sensor is going to be very helpful for me right now. Know where the ghost is, so then I can start testing for spirit box. Okay, like that one, that event started over by that door. With me hearing that. Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Alright. That was pretty effective. Turned off that light. Touch one of these doors. I can't quite tell which one. Should also try to look for the bone a little bit, but we'll wait for that. Another event. The ghost is doing plentiful amounts of events. Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Plentiful amount of events without me really doing much. We should definitely be below 60% sanity. That means a lot of ghosts are going to be capable of hunting. Salt. Salt would be very good for testing for UV. That way I don't have to go to the source and try to guess where it is. It's also going to be good for photos as long as it's not a wraith. We do have our light on in here, so as soon as we enter the house, we won't be draining our sanity. Could also bring in a crucifix. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Doesn't appear we're going to get freezing temps. I want to go grab that crucifix, but I don't want it to step into salt while I'm gone. I think fingerprints linger for 2 minutes, but footprints always seem to go by way too quick. I wonder if changed rooms, because now I stopped walking by this motion sensor pretty much as soon as I put down salt, which is a bit interesting. 7 degrees. I'm thinking it's either roaming or it changed. 8. I'm thinking that's a change. 20. 20. Sit up 20. 16. 17. It's definitely roaming quite heavily, which we do have it set to do so. I mean, at this point, this is the room, but the ghost is just roaming heavily. We either need to wait for it to roam back, or it may end up changing favorite rooms. 6. Oh, back up to 9, okay. Pretty much the room only gets colder while the ghost is in said room. So this could just be the room warming back up, and maybe the ghost is dipping back in a couple of seconds here and there. I did just want to walk. Well, that could be helpful, but... Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? That's EMF 4. Dots! Okay. Alright, so we have visible dots and we have ghost orbs. So Thay, Raiju, Yokai, Yurei, or Banshee. The amount of events I'm leaning towards Thay. We also have a lot of powered on equipment. So, and I do have my open mic on, so as I speak, the ghost will be getting agitated if it's a yokai. Hasn't really touched any doors. We could actually sit here and wait for it to touch this door. I don't think the ghost... it could do an event even with me here, I believe. But, no ghost is allowed to touch the front door aside from doing ghost events, unless it's a Yurei. And I don't even think it has to use its ability to do that. Repel and sanity below 25. So we know we're managing our sanity quite well. Wraith is not an option, so we don't need to wait for it to walk through the salt. We also don't need to keep trying to get ultraviolet as an evidence. And now's a good time to go ahead and grab this photo cam. Killing the equipment in there and then setting something up to loop it in the kitchen is probably for the best. Like grabbing this flashlight and then just activating it while I'm looping it around the kitchen island. I've been around the ghost for a long time now, so if it is a Thay, it should be fairly standard in terms of speed. Hate to have to pick that one up. Just grab that and throw that, that way it's no longer on. Kill you. So, yeah, should be ready for a hunt now. We will go ahead and turn off this light. Stand over here. This room is technically in the dark, I believe. We should be draining our sanity while we wait for it to hunt. Should actually do this with motion sensor. Because if it's a Banshee, it'll roam straight towards me. We're actually going to have that set up and ready so that way I can turn that off. That way it's not feeding a Raiju. Raiju's speed up around powered on electronics, so this motion sensor and this flashlight count as such. They slow down in the presence of the living, and I do not believe they ever speed back up. I was mistaken on that for a while there. So yeah, if you're around the ghost in the ghost room, the ghost is around you. Then they continually get slower, and they do not speed up with line of sight, so they're pretty straightforward in that matter. The yokais cannot hear or see unless they are within, I think it's about 1 meter range. try to sign. There we go. Line up my cursor there. So unless it's right on top of you, if you have a powered on electronic and you're making noise, unless it's visibly looking at you, it will not know where you are. So we'll try to do a yokai test where basically we crouch and loop it around this kitchen island with our flashlight turned on. And those lights flicker. I think it's time to go. Doing so, basically, if the ghost keeps following you around the kitchen island, it cannot be a yokai unless you just have the worst luck possible. Unless I hear... Oh, that's quite the throw. It does not seem to be speeding up with the line of sight. Ooh, that was good. I did not set my smudge timer appropriately, but we don't need to do so for working on here. I'll go ahead and get a couple of these lights turned back on. Alright, 1, 2, 3. So that ghost had a fair amount of speed to it. It had line of sight on me from the beginning, so I couldn't really rule out anything from there. I need to start looping it with nothing powered on, and then turn something on to see if it speeds up immediately, in order to dictate or declare whether or not it's a Raiju. Banshees, I believe, speed up when they have line of sight of their target. At least that's what I witnessed. I don't think I need anything else. We'll get in here. We're going to try to hunt down this bone. I think we got about 20 seconds left. Actually, we should just go start getting ready. The ghost was quite throw heavy. Gotta remember, I don't believe we have any grace period, so the ghost can't hunt directly on top of me. That is what I'm trying to... One of the things I'm trying to avoid with the motion sensor. That's not good for my health. That sounded like a Yurei double door touch. And I just realized something I'd like to have is a crucifix. That is very helpful when you have 0 grace period, because if the ghost is on top of you, it'll burn up the crucifix instead of killing you. Yurei, I believe, has a ability with incense where if you smudge the ghost, it can't roam away from its room for 30 seconds. Thankfully, it's not a hunt. Right there's good. We're ready. I'm not sure if that double door touch means it's not a Yurei. It'll be interesting. We can't. I don't believe this is a Raiju. They have a vastly increased range in which they start affecting powered on electronics. Started flickering here. We'll see if it's a yokai. Want it to flicker, but we don't want to get seen. Oh, that's the end of the hunt. That sucks. Yeah, Raiju have a vastly increased range in which they interact with powered on electronics. So I think from this distance to that bedroom, which it sounds like was where it was, my light should have already been flickering. Also, when my light started flickering, the ghost should have sped up. since I don't believe it is a Raichu. We have a yokai. It should have come straight for me. Ah, it's close enough that a yokai probably would have seen me. There we go. Didn't instance it, so it can hunt whenever it wants to. But, well, actually it has to wait 25 seconds unless it's a demon. Damn it. It screwed me over with these photos. And now I don't want to be here. I think it might be a Yuri, because some of those door touches have been very loud. This is where the tier 3 EMF meter actually comes in quite handy, because you can see multiple EMF signatures at the same time. So if you see two of the exact same signature on the exact same door, then you're pretty well set that it's a Yuri. Yeah, I think this is a yokai. Absolute yokai. And we got him smudged, so we're good to go there. Yeah, especially at that distance, there's no reason that the ghost would not have come straight for me. Still have this photo cam. Let's go hunt down this bone. Let's get the last of our photos taken care of. I'm going to check the basement very quickly just to make sure the bone's not down here, because this is a good place to get boned. No bone zone. Okay, good to go here. I didn't really check the garage, let alone this pantry laundry room when I was in here running from the ghost. I have seen the bone like in that little wooden crate, in the sink. It could be in very, very many locations. I don't see it around here though. Did not set a timer, so we're gonna need to be very careful about this. Well, I'm gonna give myself about 30-ish seconds. I've actually seen a bone in this bathtub over here too. Probably in the boys' room. There's water. What do we need? 5 more photos? Damn. This is the first time I've seen a bone in here. There we go with that. Another way so you don't have to use a flashlight is to use the walkie-talkie. It's very noisy for you and your teammates. Test for yokai that way. But if you don't have anything on you in the moment and you think to do a yokai test, that's the way to do it. I could put in more salt. Actually, I should take in a crucifix because it could probably hunt any second. Since we had the bone secured, we'll just go ahead, put this crucifix in here. Right here seems good. Did I not grab? Okay, I didn't grab the salt, but I can grab these photos. There we go. Just need 2 more photos. What are the odds you want to do a ghost event for me? Since you're right on top of me. Guessing that's a no. There's the last 2 photos. There we go. That should be perfect game. Should be. Pretty sure that's a yokai. Yeah, that first yokai test. No, I don't even think there's a maybe in that one. It pretty much has to be a yokai. It's been very vocal with the door touches, which just keeps making me second guess myself into thinking it's a Yurei, but I think I have to stick with yokai. It should have beeline for me when instead of going down into the basement and instead of going into the garage, especially on the second test. This should be perfect game. We have all objectives. We have all 3-star photos. I don't need the ghost photo for perfect game. We have the bone. And I think, what was this, 5 point something? 5.5-ish? We'll say 5.5. See what we get. Okay. I was so second guessing myself on that yokai test. We unlocked some more equipment. Hell yeah. We also, part of this rewards is because we got our daily task, discovered a ghost type for $100. So technically we got 23.20. This is pretty decent. $70 because of the photos, because dirty water and non-interaction photos tend to give you more. So if you can get the ghost photo, dirty water, burned crucifixes, ghost writing, I don't think there's anything else looking here. Yeah, perfect investigation bonus, neat. And yeah, 5.43, so let's call it 5.5. Ghost writing, stuff like that, they will get you more money for the photos. I think the max you can do is maybe $75 for photo rewards. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll try to maximize that one day, get as many dirty waters as I can. Yeah, all the burned crucifixes, because you can get 4 burned crucifixes. Basically, just try to do everything but interaction photos. That's quite a challenge in and of itself, honestly. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Maybe you can tell me something and I'll learn something. If you could like, comment, and or subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Anything that you could do for the channel will help me boom back into the channel for you. All of that being said, I'll see you next time. Have a good one.